Lolly Lolly says, what's the difference between sarcastic and ironic? I think the meaning is close. Maybe I'm wrong. Actually, Lolly Lolly is right that the meanings of sarcastic and ironic are close. But there are a couple of important differences. This is a topic which probably deserves its own video because it's really hard to explain to someone what sarcasm is, and it's really hard to explain to someone what irony is, right? Now, there are many great examples of irony. There's visual irony, there's situational irony. Something like visual irony would be maybe a man standing next to a post, right, smoking a cigarette, and then above his head there's a no smoking sign. That kind of maybe visual irony. There's an oppositeness to irony, right? There is two opposing things that make us realize in some way that these two very opposite things are it's unusual, and it makes us think about the situation a little bit more, right? Another visual one I think I've seen is a gym directly above an ice cream store, right? Because you would get the ice cream and then feel bad and go up to the gym. These two things are side by side, and it's kind of ironic that you would have them close together. Probably my favorite and simplest example of irony, it's just my favorite because it's simple, is I think it's a poem. It goes water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. Now, what does that mean? Well, there's a man stranded at sea on a little boat, right? Or maybe a little piece of an airplane because the airplane crashes in the middle of the ocean. And this man is dying from thirst, dehydration. And yet, he is surrounded by water. So the irony is, and I think this captures irony better than the visual examples that I mentioned. These are these two opposing things. This creates kind of an interesting realization that makes us consider the oddness of it and think more about it, right? The man is dying for a lack of the thing which is all around him. That is extremely ironic, right? The cause of his probable death is the thing which surrounds him. He needs to drink water. It's the only thing that he needs, and yet he can't because it's salt water. You can't drink salt water, right? So, very ironic. The irony of the situation. And if you read, for example, a lot of Shakespeare stories, there is a lot of irony in Shakespeare. And those are just a couple of simple examples to try to capture the general sense of what irony is. The common thing between irony and sarcasm is that there are these sort of opposing things, these opposite things. Oh, excuse me. But sarcasm is used usually for the sake of humor. And sarcasm doesn't have to be, is usually not some visual thing. Sarcasm is usually a remark or a comment on something. To either say the exact opposite of what is meant, or to give an expression that leads people to believe one thing, perhaps for the sake of humor. And there are many characters in well-known TV shows that are very sarcastic. If you've ever seen the American TV show House, that character is very sarcastic. He'll say the opposite of what he means to be sarcastic. Sarcasm is the noun, sarcastic is the adjective. Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. Not a fan of the show, but Sheldon is... Wait, which one is sarcastic? Is he sarcastic or is he not sarcastic? I don't remember. I just remember there was one scene where he tried to be sarcastic or something. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, a good example of sarcasm would be something like this. Oh, great, great. So you can hear in my tone that I don't mean great. It's not great. It's maybe terrible. So you tell me that we have to leave tomorrow at 6 a.m. when I thought I was going to get to sleep in. And I say, oh, great. What I mean is that's terrible, but I don't want to be always so open and honest and direct. So what I say is, oh, great, or great, to kind of let you know without saying it directly. And it is really common among Americans and among people from the UK, that sort of opposite style. And it's not the kind of funny that makes people ha 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 laugh out loud. It's kind of dark and a little bit negative, right? Or if somebody tells you a horrible idea for a business they want to start, and you say, oh yeah, it's brilliant idea. It's the dumbest thing you've ever heard, and you say that it's brilliant. It's like saying, you should know that I'm joking when I say brilliant. But if you're too dumb to notice that what I mean is actually not brilliant and genius, but actually that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, then you deserve to think that. It's kind of mean, right? And I don't know if sarcasm is good or not, but I'm extremely sarcastic. If you know me personally, I try not to be too much in my videos, but if you know me personally, you would know that I'm extremely sarcastic. Often in situations, it's my goal to never say anything directly. And one reason for that is I just think it's more fun to never say what I really mean, because then people have to think about that, and I think that's more interesting. That's just my personality. I don't know. So a lot of Americans are very sarcastic, including myself. And while there is a connection between sarcasm and irony, I would say that irony is much broader. It doesn't have to be used for humor. Sarcasm is more about that remark, that way of speaking, and that tone where we go, great. That's what we call a sarcastic tone. But we wouldn't so much say an ironic tone. That doesn't quite work. So that's the best I can do just off the top of my head about the difference between the two. Probably deserves a whole video, as I said, by itself, because it's quite complex. It's not that easy to explain and talk about. So hopefully that kind of answers your question. Lolly lolly. Guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like button. Of course, subscribe and follow, and check out the courses. Full courses in the links in the description.